Hello, my name is Raymond Monzon, and I'm a Supervisory Supply Chain Security Specialist with U.S. Customs and Border Protection's CTPAT program. The following video, filmed at CBP's Container Exam Station at the Port of Miami, will demonstrate how to conduct a proper container inspection in order to comply with CTPAT's minimum security criteria.
The CTPAT minimum security criteria requires certified partners to have written procedures for the inspection process of instruments of international traffic. Prior to loading, stuffing, or packing, all conveyances and empty instruments of international traffic must undergo a CTPAT approved inspection to ensure their structures have not been modified. Inspections must be systematic and must be conducted at conveyance storage yards. Where feasible, inspections must be conducted upon entering and departing the storage yard and at the point of loading. Depending on the company's business model, additional inspections such as an 8-point refrigerated container and the 17-point tractor and trailer inspection should be implemented. In this video, we will demonstrate a 7-point container inspection, which must be conducted on all empty containers prior to loading. The 7 inspection points are the outside of the container and undercarriage, outside and inside doors, including the reliability of the door's locking mechanisms, the right wall, the front wall, the left side, the ceiling and roof, and the inside floor. It is important to remember that the inspection of all conveyances and empty instruments of international traffic must be documented and recorded on a comprehensive security checklist. Inspection and safety equipment should be used when conducting these inspections. Inspection equipment that can be used may include a flashlight, a mirror, a rubber mallet, a broomstick, and a rangefinder. Some of the safety equipment that should be used is protective eyewear, hard hats, gloves, and a safety vest. Upon arrival at the facility, a cursory inspection of the outside and undercarriage of the container should be conducted. The undercarriage support beams should be visible and clear of parasitic attachments or solid plates that cover the beams. Use a mirror and flashlight to access hard-to-see areas. At the loading dock, check the outside and inside of the doors, and check that the locking mechanism is reliable and shows no sign of damage. The container door should be open to verify that the container is actually empty and acceptable for loading. Look for loose bolts and hasps on the locking mechanisms, as well as non-factory rivets on the inside of the doors. Rust or any discoloration of these items can be a telltale sign that someone may have tampered with the container. If the aforementioned is detected or the container locking mechanism does not secure the door correctly, reject the container and have the service provider replace it with one that is secure. Now, a systematic inspection inside the container should be conducted. Starting on the right wall, tap the wall with a rubber mallet. Listen and feel the vibration the wall makes. If the sound changes to a hard thump and there is no vibration, you should investigate the area further. Remember to verify the location of the ventilation holes, as the holes should be at specific distances from the front wall, doors, and ceiling of the container. If the distance is less than the standard measurements of the container, it can be an indication of a false wall or ceiling. Now continue to the front wall of the container. Using the same technique, tap the front wall with the rubber mallet, listening and feeling the vibrations it produces. Again, if the sound changes, investigate further. Remember to check the blocks on the right and left side of the wall. Tap the blocks with the rubber mallet to confirm that they are the original blocks and they have not been tampered with in any way. With the mallet, continue on to the left side of the container. And once again, if the mallet produces a hard thump, fully investigate that area of the wall. During the systematic inspection, visually verify the condition of the ceiling. A ladder or a stationary mirror can be used to visually inspect the roof of the container. A broomstick could also be used to tap the inside ceiling. Once again, use the mallet and listen for anomalies. Finally, visually inspect the floor of the container. Look for any fresh repairs or weld marks. The floor of the container should be screwed down and should be level throughout. There should never be a need to take a big step to get inside a container. You can use a broomstick to tap the inside floor, and as before with the mallet, if the sound changes, investigate. A rangefinder can be used to measure the length of the inside of the container. Stand outside of the container doors and place the rangefinder directly above the door opening. The rangefinder should read 20, 40, 45 feet or more depending on the length of the container that is being loaded. If the length of the container is off by even a couple of inches, go back and investigate the front wall further.
CTPAT certified partners should incorporate the inspection techniques demonstrated in this video throughout the company's supply chain. The container inspection video should also be used to train security personnel and company employees that conduct these inspections. Remember to immediately report security breaches to CBP, CTPAT, and the company's assigned supply chain security specialists. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for being a trusted partner in CTPAT, your supply chain's strongest link.